Welcome to Epic Court Encounters. All right, today we're going to have a few cases that I'm going to go into, but it's the same person, okay? So it's going to be a Judge Simpson's court. And this person, they got a lot of charges, all right? So I'm taking you from beginning to current, and then I'll follow up on it, okay? So like the initial hearing, all of that good stuff. So there's going to be two short ones, but then we're going to get into the main one really fast. All right, so let's do this. Let's go.
Court does call the case People versus Andrew Krupa.
Stands to my right.
Okay, what are we doing?
We are asking for an adjournment request so that my client can retain counsel. He's already retained counsel, however, he may be looking to different counsel at this time. We're just asking for a little time so that they can get here.
So he's looking for private counsel. How much time is he going to need to do that?
He advised that 3 weeks would be the sufficient.
It's the only adjournment you'll get for that purpose if we are already haven't granted one.
I don't believe this case is for
I'll adjourn the probable cause October 10th, 2024, 9 a.m. Bond continues.
Thank you.
Quick recap. So he wanted to hire his own attorney in case the audio was a little messed up, but you probably heard it from Judge Simpson. So now he has his own attorney and he's going to have his next hearing. Okay, so let's go in.
Court does call the case of the People versus Andrew Krupa.
Good morning, Your Honor. Joshua Van Lawn on behalf of Mr. Krupar to my right.
Okay. Is there a second?
Yes.
Oh, yes, Judge.
Okay,
It was.
I got it.
Sorry.
No, I just had a different name at the top. All right. What are we doing today?
Judge, set for PCC today. I believe the prosecutor seeking adjournment was probably additional charges coming down.
What?
I let defense counsel studying this through right now for typing the new felony case coming against this defendant.
For a new felony?
It's technically a
new felony complaint.
old case.
Not since he's been on bond for this case.
Right.
It predates this case.
But a new case is coming.
Yes, thank you.
All right. So do we have an I mean, where is it?
I have just sent it from my office to type. They'll need to type. That takes a few days, sign it, and then get it to Lawnet, and then Lawnet will swear to it. So if we could go out at least 3 weeks.
2 weeks? Okay.
Thank you so much.
And I'll make sure that he turns himself in on that. We get it all taken care of course.
Well, if we time it up right, well, October 31st, 2024, 9 a.m. All right. One of the things, counsel, that can happen if it comes at that time, I can do the arraignment at the same time as this one.
Absolutely.
That's why I was trying to do that so that you didn't have.
Thank you. As soon as I receive word from Ms. Hughes that it's authorized, I'll contact the court. And maybe if the court
If
says
you
that's too
contact
far.
my staff, then we'll try to coordinate that for you.
Great. Thank you.
October 31st, 2024, 9 a.m. Bond continue.
Appreciate you, Your Honor.
So he has other charges coming. So they just want to do everything at the same time. So that's basically what it is. So now we're going to go into the main thing that you really need to pay attention for. Okay. Now, if you need snacks, go get them. That's what I always say when it's something good. So let's continue.
Court does call the case of the People versus Andrew Krupa.
Apologies on behalf of people.
Good afternoon, Judge. Joshua Van Lawn on behalf of Mr. Krupar, who's present to my right as well.
Your name, sir?
Andrew Stevens, Krupar.
All right, what are we doing on this today?
Your Honor, we have a couple of things. First is Raymond, if Your Honor is looking to do that on his file, but basically we had a complicated situation where MSP's forced to a new case, a 15 file yesterday, but it is a felony case. Physical file hasn't made it to this building.
Right.
So I engaged in making a makeshift work file.
Yes.
We will need to, and I otherwise understand that we have another matter that needs to be addressed as well.
Yes. Is he, have you seen a copy of the,
I haven't, but we've been in I know that the main charges, but no, I have not yet seen a copy.
He's charged with 8 counts.
Okay.
The most severe, smaller from the. Yes.
Yeah, we just cleared that today.
Okay, that's why the officer standing behind them.
Yeah,
because
no
it's still
problem.
showing.
Yeah, we cleared it this morning. No problem. Perfect.
all right,
I have, sorry.
did you wish for me to formally read the complaint to you?
No, Judge, I would waive the formal reading. Thank you. We stand mute and ask that you enter.
Defendant having waived formal reading, standing mute, the court will enter a not guilty plea. I don't really have a case number to call off of this yet. I'll call it by the. I even have a report number.
I think you can use the form.
You got a case number? Yeah, go ahead.
24F556.
Got it. Got it. Actually, it's on the print. Thank you, Emily. All right. Defendant having waived formal reading, standing mute, court will not enter a not guilty plea. It will set a probable cause hearing in this matter. Defendant demanding same for the November 14th. Well, where?
Judge, can I
Yes.
interrupt?
Go ahead.
There's a case that's in Macomb. I know that you're about to address as well. That case is also set on November 14th. I'm happy for this one to take priority, but I just wanted to let you know there's also a hearing on that.
Well, I'll set this one then for November 21st,
Thank you, Judge.
2024. I don't think this is the right format, but that's okay. I'll take care of it. It's at 9 a.m. Has to bond in this case.
The request being be taken into custody and that his bond be set at the amount of 150,000 cash surety. The defendant count 1 is facing up to life in prison for trafficking of over 1,000 or more grams of cocaine. This defendant came into under investigation by the Michigan State Police when federal authorities determined that he had been trafficking drugs internationally from Europe as well as interstate many times from California. The defendant was engaged in an illegal contract with younger people. He paid them about $100 to $200 per package and said, "Can I have these packages delivered to your home? And let me know when they're there, I'll come pick them up from your porch." He did this numerous times, further, including at least 10 times from California. The feds then intercepted a package that they determined to have MDMA in it. This then led to a search warrant where the package was successfully under surveillance delivered to the home, and the Michigan State Police, and specifically LawNet, began an investigation into Mr. Krupar. Once the package was delivered to the home, the person who was supposed to notify him that the package was there did so. Mr. Krupar arrived, took the package, and the police attempted to arrest him as well as execute a search warrant on his home. When they executed a separate search warrant on his home, there was a great deal of controlled substances that were recovered, over the 1,000 grams of cocaine. There was separate drugs that were recovered from his vehicle as well. Notably, though, while the penalties, unfortunately, for resisting obstructing the police are just not as substantial, although they should be, when the police attempted to take him into custody, he attempted to flee. He ran from them and he resisted arrest. So not only do we have a person before Your Honor that has been engaged in international drug trafficking, He has, and I will, this is a 2021 case that is not at the fault of MSP. This is a case that once the federal authorities are involved, it takes a very, very long time for it to be processed. As soon as MSP was able to enter this into on-base, they notified me immediately and I was able to bring the charges before Your Honor. This defendant, notably, is also before Your Honor on our other PCC case. Mind you, that case is not as substantial in terms of penalty, but in 2024, which is the case he's otherwise here before Your Honor, he's otherwise in possession of cocaine and just over $9,000 in cash that we understand to be the proceeds of drug trafficking. That's on the other file that's scheduled for PCC today. Similarly, the warrant that I understand defense counsel may indicate to the court has since been cleared perhaps today, but the no bond warrant that was out for his arrest today was for a CSC case in Macomb. He also has another case, I believe it's, I'm going to say it wrong, something about Chippewa.
Oh, is it?
Is that the jurisdiction?
Isabella County.
Isabel, thank you. He has another case that came under investigations, frankly, from drug trafficking, but resulted in a malicious destruction of property or some charge along those lines that he's otherwise dealing with. So while this case is from 2021, it's not as if he's had his hands clean since then. Instead, he has picked up numerous other cases in the CSC case, and he has also previously been prosecuted for CSC in our county. So Your Honor, at this time, I request a bond be set at $150,000 cash surety.
Now he has a lot going on. And then two, if you didn't catch it, she said he was having younger people have packages delivered to them. It's not good. And he has stuff going all over the place. And he has stuff from Europe and California. How do y'all think this is going to go? Because this is a big mess here. And he has multiple jurisdictions involved right now.
I mean,
Yes, sure.
so I'll work my way backwards a little bit here. The charges in Macomb County, he had a failure to appear on a confusion on dates. We went to the Judge Julie Gotti this morning before we came here, Judge. Actually, this afternoon at 1:30, we appeared before her. She set aside the bench warrant. That case, while it appears to be a CSC case on paper, the CSC charges will be dismissed on November 14th, and he'll end up pleading to a 1 count of use of analogs. So just so we're clear on that, as far as the case that he picked up here, the 2024 case, obviously we were before this court. He appeared before this court every time. He has a bond on that case that this court gave him. This 2021 case is not something that he has run from, despite what may have been, I guess, I'm not saying any false statements were made by Ms. Hughes at all. I'm saying there was an attorney that was involved earlier on with the forfeiture part of this case. And he has been there and has had that attorney until he's now hired me to address this case when it came up. Knowing this case was coming up, Ms. Hughes was kind enough to tell us last time that she was going to be authorizing the charge. He's still here and showing up for court. He has a tether on his ankle right now, and he shows up for court when he's supposed to be there. That may sound undermined by the fact that they issued a bench warrant in Macomb County. Honestly, Judge, it was a confusion of dates, and we cleared that up today. He's got other matters that are going on in Isabella County that he's resolving, and there have been no issues as far as his failure to appear or anything like that. So at this point, Judge, I understand the nature of the charges. I'm at a bit of a disadvantage factually because I don't have any discovery, nor should I at that stage, I guess. So I'll make sure to get that. But this is 2021 and he's here and been here. I think I know he'll be here again in the future. He's got a tether on so the court can keep an accurate, oversight of him. I have a feeling that the case in Isabella is going to end up resolving with jail time up there. So he's not going anywhere on that one either.
What court is that out of?
That is out of the Isabella County Circuit Court. I'm sorry, I don't know the number, Judge.
Do you know the number?
Maybe there's, you know what?
Does that include Mount Pleasant?
That is Mount Pleasant. Yes.
Got it. 21st. Well, you're saying what's going on with that case?
He's being ready to be sentenced on that case. I know the sentencing date is getting, I think, selected, but he ended up pleading to drug charges up there, which his guidelines.
Well, there's a problem then. Are you handling that case?
Yes.
Because there's a warrant for him on that.
And all I knew is that when we went to the sentencing last time, the judge was going to hold the warrant until we can get resentencing done on him. So, and that's because of the confusion on the.
Well, when was that?
It wasn't within the past week or two. It was, I think it was the day after we were in court here last time.
Because I've got a warrant date of 10/18/24.
We've been to court since then. I think when we went to court since then, a PSI was issued. And I think that's why, yeah, the PSI issued on 10/14, the warrant, there was the warrant for the failure to appear on 10/18. And I think we went back before the court either on
You're
21.
saying they didn't cancel the warrant?
I didn't know the warrant had issued. I know the judge initially said he was going to hold the warrant. I didn't know that the warrant had ever actually issued. Maybe it issued.
I've got a warrant for, what do you got?
Which one are you looking at? Just to confirm the amount wasn't fine.
While he's looking at that, if you notice, he said, okay, he's had issues since 2021, which you've already heard, but now I'm talking about the attorney statement. So he's saying, oh, yeah, he's been coming to court. He's been here. There's no issues. There's no failure to appear. That's not the problem. The problem is since 2021, he's been selling drugs everywhere, right? So the crime is not stopping. I don't care how much you come to court. If you keep doing the same thing, then obviously you're not learning, right? So I just wanted to know if you picked up on that, because I picked up on that. But yeah, he's not changing his ways, and it's just going to make it worse.
I've got a warrant that indicates it was issued on October 18th, 2024 out of Mount Pleasant. On a charge of destroying evidence. And it says hold with no bond.
Part of the, I know he was charged in one of the charges with tampering with evidence, so it's part of the same case. Why it would only issue on the one charge. I know that I appeared after that and the PSI was being updated, which it did, and we're waiting for the sentencing date, but maybe it didn't get set aside, or I don't want to speak on it because I don't want to say something wrong to the court. My understanding was the judge initially issued a warrant because there was the failure to appear, but he held the warrant without entering.
I don't
Now it's entered,
know.
apparently.
It's entered. It's been entered since the 18th of October and not cleared. And
I understand the ramifications of that, which is why we cleared a different one today. And had I known about it, I would have tried to make sure it got taken care of before today. Unfortunately, didn't know about it.
anything else? I
Um,
mean, I got, part of the problem is when I look at these dates of offenses, I would tend to agree with the people that well, this one's a 2021, his behavior exacerbated itself in a certain respect because got that, and then from 2001, and then the current case that I have, understanding what the people are saying about what he was found with that led to the current charges is extremely troublesome to me. It's also extremely troublesome that the drugs involved in the, if true, that paying young people to transport, in essence, cocaine, methamphetamine, and fentanyl, well, is hugely problematic for me. And then being found later with drugs and a large amount of cash, and then having these other charges where there are warrants and he doesn't seem to deal with what he needs to deal with. So,
and Judge, I agree with everything. Not that you're asking me to agree. I just want to make sure you know, had we known about that other warrant, I would have came into this court, made sure it was taken care of. But I understand completely the court's concern. I know the prosecutor's asking Judge for 150,000 cash surety. The only thing that I would ask is if you could add a 10% provision, tether provision. I'm not even sure you can post that, but if you could.
Well, I don't, quite frankly, I understand what the people are asking for. I don't think that's quite frankly a high enough bond. I mean, I think that this individual is a very dangerous individual, sort of spewing poison out there into our communities, at least as it's alleged, and then doesn't seem to learn his lesson and then is caught again. And I have very serious concerns. He's walking around with $9,000 in cash on this. After he has that I've got a case that at least in terms of some evidence, it's alleged at least that he's destroying. And then there are other charges kind of all over the state of Michigan. This person seems to me to be not only dangerous to the community, but it certainly poses, as the court views it, a flight risk in terms of having the ability to take off. And anything else you want to say before I set Bob?
No, Judge, and frankly, looking at the charges and everything that you're looking at, I certainly understand where the court's perspective is from. The only thing I would remind the court is he knew about these things coming and he still has been here. Again, the court I know considers that just a small portion of its consideration. That's all.
If the defendant does post the bond in this case, then he is to be placed back on, if that tether is removed, he's to be placed back on a home confinement tether. If he were to post this bond, I'm going to set his bond. And what are we doing on this case that's before me today?
So until I get the discovery on the new case, Judge, I would ask that it be adjourned together, if that's okay.
I'll adjourn that out to November 21st, 2024 at 9 a.m. or as it indicates. Bond on that matter will continue. Yes, Ms. Hughes.
Can I ask for a no contact order as well? There's one for Catherine Davis. If I could request a no contact order for Catherine Davis.
No contact with Catherine Davis.
And then could I also request a no contact order with Kaylee Aldridge?
Give me a spelling.
AALEIGH Aldridge ALDRIVGE. And then we could have.
And the Catherine is spelled which way?
Catherine is KATHERINE.
And what was the last name? Sorry.
And finally, we could have.
Davis was the last name.
Put his current address on the record.
Is it in Grand Haven?
For home confinement, yeah, so he has a permanent address in Grand Haven, but where are you staying for your? Go ahead and say it out loud. Yeah, he'll say it out loud, yep.
Right now, not, so that we can address where.
Absolutely, yep. So go ahead and put it on the record.
1732 Brookfield Drive.
1732 Brookfield Drive.
Where?
City. Yeah. And in Ann Arbor.
And there's also another home in Grand Haven.
That's my,
His mother's home.
yeah, that's my mailing address that I have.
That's your mailing address?
Well, that's what I put as my permanent address for court purposes.
Brookfield's like an apartment and it's temporary stuff, so.
Is there, you said it's an apartment?
I believe so, is that
It's a
right?
condo.
It's a condo.
Is there
No,
number
that is-
on the door, 1732?
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's an apartment here,
It's a condo here in Ann Arbor.
yet your mail is sent to Grand Haven?
Correct. I've not lived there long.
Pardon?
I've not lived there long. I've only lived there for a month.
Mhm.
There's been an anticipation with the other case, Judge, that he wouldn't be able to stay any place long because if he's going to be incarcerated, there wasn't really a reason for him to establish a more permanent residency. So that was the only issue. I'm not sure if that's the entirety of it, but I want to make sure the
All
court.
right, I will order no contact with Catherine Davis, Kaylee Aldridge. As indicated that if the defendant posts the bond I'm about to set, then he is to be placed on a home confinement GPS tether. And at this point, until I can, I certainly will take a look at it, but looking on the face of this with everything else that's going on, and having a no bond hold in Isabella County or Mount Pleasant. The court in this case is going to set his bond at $500,000 cash surety.
God dang.
Understood, Judge. And obviously with that no
Whoa.
bond hold anyway, I appreciate it. Thank you for your consideration. And if I need something in writing after I get the discovery, I appreciate that.
500,000, $500,000. He has so much stuff going on. I don't blame Judge Simpson for what he did. I understand why he did it. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be following up on this because this guy got a lot of stuff happening. And I want to make sure y'all are in on it. Okay, so if you watch the content this far, please subscribe to the channel and like, share. But let's talk in the comments. Tell me how you feel about everything that's going on. What do you think about it? I don't know. We'll see. So I hope you have a good day, evening, or night, wherever you are while you're watching the video at the time. And I'll have some follow-ups for you. See you around next time.